Hey, George here. If you're an aspiring photographer or videographer just starting out, chances are you've been binge watching camera reviews on YouTube. I mean, who doesn't want to make sure they're spending their hard-earned money on the right gear, right? Here's the thing. There's a big issue with a lot of those reviews that no one really talks about. And today, we'll go dive into that. Picture this. You're new to the camera world, you're doing your research, watching countless videos on the latest cameras, lenses, and accessories, trying to figure out what's going to fit your needs. Trust me, I've been there. It's easy to get overwhelmed with all the information out there, but here's what I've learned over time. Not all reviews are created equal, and that's not just because some are more detailed or better produced than others. The real issue lies in the perspective of the reviewers themselves. Camera reviewers tend to fall into different categories based on the type of shooter they are. Some are more slanted towards photography, focused on taking still images. Perhaps they're even professional photographers who do it for a living. Others are slanted more towards video and filmmaking. And then there are the ones in the middle, the ones that do a little bit of both. But even they will tend to lean towards one side or the other. Now the problem is you often don't know upfront what kind of shooter they are. And that's crucial because their advice and opinions will be heavily influenced by their own shooting style, even if they're trying hard to be unbiased. Now, why does that matter? Well, as a beginner, you're trying to find the gear that fits your needs, not someone else's. If you're primarily interested in photography, you don't want to end up with a camera that's better suited for video, and vice versa. For instance, let's talk about sensor resolution. Photographers usually prefer high-resolution sensors because they offer greater detail, which is ideal for cropping and large prints. For example, the Sony a7R5 has a 61 megapixel sensor, perfect for capturing fine details and for cropping. But for videographers, lower resolution sensors are often better. They work really well in low light thanks to the larger pixels. The Sony a7S III is a great example of this. It has a 12 megapixel sensor that's designed for superior low light video performance, making it a go-to option for videographers. Take camera screens, for instance. Now, while there are obviously people on either side that like one style or the other, photographers tend to prefer tilt screens because they allow for the screen to be aligned with the lens and provide for a more compact setup. For example, the Fujifilm X-T5 was marketed as a photography-first camera, and it comes with a tilt screen. On the other hand, videographers tend to like fully articulating flip-out screens because it's easier for filming yourself, capturing awkward angles, or moving the screen away from the camera body for better heat dissipation. The Sony FX3, which is a cinema camera, comes only with a flip-out screen. Another example are electronic viewfinders, or EVFs, which are essentially required for most photographers who need it for ergonomics or for shooting in many-differing lighting conditions. Videographers, though, might not prioritize the EVF as much, especially when they rely on external monitors. And if you're mostly shooting videos of yourself, you might rarely ever use the EVF. And that's why some video-centric cameras, like the Sony ZV-E1, doesn't even come with the EVF, but instead only offers an LCD screen. So, how do you avoid this pitfall? Well, first, just be aware of the reviewer's focus. Check out their other videos that they've done and just pay attention to the words they use. If they talk a lot about things like RAW versus JPEG, cropping into images, corner sharpness, bokeh, pixel peeping, and etc., they are probably more photography centric. On the other hand, if you talk a lot about 4K versus 1080p, rolling shutter, overheating, 10-bit color, log footage, etc., they are probably more video centric. And secondly, don't just rely on one review. Watch many reviews from many different types of shooters. And just remember that there is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to cameras. What works great for one person might not be the best for you. Whether you're a budding photographer, videographer, or somewhere in between, keep these tips in mind as you navigate the world of camera reviews. Now, I hope this video was useful and gave you some ideas about what to think about as you make your decisions on what to get. Now, if you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. And just let me know in the comments what's been your experience with camera reviews. I'd love to hear from you.